on, y'all? It's your boy Tyler Gates, a.k.a. Tagline 205, where it's all sports, all access, all the time. And I am here, and I'm ready because I got something for you today. We're going to talk about Lane Kiffin. But before we talk about Lane Kiffin and transactions, we're going to talk about how the like section and the comment section and subscriptions are not being made. Like, comment, and subscribe right there at the bottom of your screen. Like, comment, and subscribe to this talk show right here. Everything you need, unfiltered, raw, sports talk. Whatever you need, it's unfiltered, it's raw, it's ready, and it's bold takes, and it's one of one. Tagline 205, Tyler A. Gates, that's where you're going to get the best at. We're going to go down this decision route. So, I was thinking about it earlier this morning, and the biggest thing for me, when I look at this Lane Kiffin conundrum, is the decision. Now, sports fans may think, that seems eerily similar to somebody else that we know who made a decision, a.k.a. the King, LeBron James. So, with that being said, I compare LeBron's decision a little bit to Lane Kiffin's decision in high stakes, national attention, and it's been garnering our attention for weeks. Let's get that out the way. His family, the Thanksgiving photo, the Ole Miss games, post-game interviews, especially they're not mentioning LSU, but they're mentioning LSU, or they were mentioning Florida at the time before they moved on to the Tulane head coach. And they appear to be closing in on their next head coach from Tulane. So I want to introduce this topic, and I want to jump right into it, of him choosing between Ole Miss and LSU. So our quick teaser is that we've been tracking rumors all week, like I said. But the background of this, the blueprint of the whole Lane Kiffin saga goes back to Ole Miss and its legacy. And Lane Kiffin has a legacy. If Lane Kiffin wants to have a legacy and continue his legacy as it's still being made, but be able to compete for a national championship on a national stage, LSU fits that. Florida would have fit that as well, because we're talking about prestigious programs. Not to say that Ole Miss is not a prestigious program, but we were talking about the history, and history is more likely on the side of LSU and Florida. Ole Miss doesn't really have that history like that. Of course, they had good players come through their organization. Laquan Treadwell, Jackson Dart. We can think of so many players. Eli Manning is probably the most obvious. But we can sit back and relax knowing that Lane Kiffin is making a hard decision. And it's hard, But we can't be so eager to jump on the plane and say, I think LSU fits me. And that's where all the rumors about his family has been coming around about. His family has been catching planes to Florida, to LSU, from Oxford. And I'm like, something doesn't sit right with that. But he said he was going to make a decision yesterday, which was Saturday, rivalry week. He did not do that. He said, now move it to Sunday. And around the late hours, heading into Sunday morning, Marty Smith, I feel so bad for him. You kept that man up waiting. Hours. Even sent the text message saying, for the love of God, please make a decision tonight. He even said it. Matter of fact, take a look.
Will there be a resolution tonight? Please, God in heaven, tell me yes.
You've tried, man. Great job by you, Marty.
Yeah. That's what he said. So I'm a little bit intrigued to see where this goes. And he said it was going to be an announcement after the Egg Bowl. That didn't happen. They can still make the college football play, which I think they're going to make it. This is their best shot to win a national championship. Lane Kiffin knows that. But if Lane Kiffin can leave, financially, it has something to do with it as well. $100 million. Who's turning down $100 million? Let's be honest. But it's the intrigue of LSU going against Alabama every year. It's the intrigue of having Death Valley Crump. It's the intrigue of of having Lane Kiffin at LSU. Lane Kiffin is LSU's head coach. And it's the intrigue of players wanting to transfer there from other schools, knowing that the opportunity is going to be given to them if they are good. That is what Lane Kiffin wants. He wants stability. He wants stability, but he's fighting prestige. So it's stability versus prestige. It's a bigger stage. It's a bigger history maker. It's potentially a bigger pay. Obviously, we know what the pay is, the rumored pay at least. But the impact on the SEC balance and the playoff positioning when Lane Kiffin eventually gets to LSU is going to be crazy. I think he's the second best coach in the SEC right behind Kirby Smart. Go Dogs. You guys know that. But the current situation I want to dive into before I conclude this video is that the sources suggest that LSU feels confident that they can land him. Now, how confident are they? Because we are talking about Lane Kiffin. You know in WWE how heel turns work? Yeah. So I wouldn't exactly be too confident. We're talking about Lane Kiffin here and decision making. So yeah. But the stakes behind this job is the playoff seeding, program stability, recreational recruiting impact. That is what sustains a program. I'm going to say it again. Playoff seeding, program stability, and a recreational recruiting impact. You have the marketability at LSU versus the marketability at Ole Miss. Why is this decision so hard? Because the drama, the impact on family, the impact on financially, the impact on NIL, flipping. There's going to be a lot of commits that flip due to this decision. Just like James Franklin did, brought some of his boys to Virginia Tech with him. Said that was going to happen, right? But it's like LeBron in 2010. It's so drama-filled. It's not going to be nationally televised, obviously. I mean, it is, but it's going to be breaking news. But the SEC power battles and the recruiting battles when he goes to LSU is going to be out the gate. Not to say that he wasn't recruiting at Ole Miss, but who wants to play in Mississippi? Who wants to? Let's be honest. So, LSU, Georgia, Bama, I even throw Tennessee's name in there, Texas, Oklahoma. These are going to be the schools that are fighting over the best defensive tackle in high school, or fighting over the best cornerbacks in high school, or fighting over the best wide receiver, running back, fullback, quarterback, nose tackles in high school football. Trust me when I say that. Trust me when I say that. What to watch, though? The official announcement should be coming soon, so stay tuned on ESPN, CBS Sports, all your sports outlets. Stay tuned. Marty Smith, if you don't follow him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram, and he should have it up for you. But what I will say is that the players' reactions, our reactions are going to be something special. Ole Miss, they are supposed to have a meeting today at 10 o'clock. He will have a players-only meeting and then a collective meeting. Of course, coaches, players, and then collectively. So we're going to see where that goes. But watch LSU's move. I feel like their staff is being lined up by Lane Kiffin secretly. I feel like it is. It's being lined up. It's being lined up. And he's not telling anybody, but it's being lined up. Right? We're going to watch the College Football Committee. And we're going to see what they're going to do in terms of this decision. Where they're going to put Ole Miss because they're going to be in the playoffs seeding too. It's a lot of things we have to take away from this. Lane Kiffin is changing a lot of things at the moment. His decision looming, impending, is going to change a lot of things. So, that's the wrap up of this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What we took away from this video was the crossroads of a program in the SEC. Guys, it's going to be so... It's going to be great for LSU and Alabama, at least, in their history. It's going to be great between those two. This definitely is going to impact the 2026 college football season without a doubt. LSU might be national title contenders next year if they can get in the transfer portal, if they can recruit freshmen from high school. Trust me, Lane Kiffin is going to work as soon as he gets in there. But we're gonna see. We're going to see. And I'm going to be so intrigued to see what happens with LSU, even though I'm a Georgia fan. But I'm happy for LSU if they get this done. You need a head coach like that. You need a household name like Lane Kiffin. So, with that being said, the next episode that we're going to have, I'm going to talk about the NBA. Haven't talked about it in a minute. Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, we got to see what's going on with my team. But the trade deadline is also coming up too. Those trade implications starting to kick in on what date? Around December 15th, somewhere around there, every year in the teens. And then we obviously know the trade deadlines in February. So stay tuned for that. Until then, stay live.